Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous has recently teased its third season as being somewhat of a darker turn for the series, with the new genetically engineered creature known as E750 being unleashed, and the incoming Velociraptor attacks from Blue happening over the span of the next episodes. Things are shaping up to be pretty suspenseful for these teenage survivors. However, one element seems to be getting overlooked in all of these new trailers and screenshots, and that happens to be the image of Owen Grady's raptor standing atop the destroyed Tyrannosaur skull from the original Jurassic Park, while the building around them is seemingly surrounded by burning ember flames. So, the destruction of Isla Nublar, and with it, the original Jurassic Park, is something that Michael Crichton wrote out for the ending of his 1990 novel. We wouldn't see this destruction take place on screen, though, for another 28 years, with the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom finally destroying the first island in a volcanic eruption. Now, the interesting thing about Season 3 of Camp Cretaceous is that if we just go off of this image, it would appear that Jurassic Park's most iconic building, the Visitor Center, could have actually been destroyed a few years prior to Fallen Kingdom's events, judging by this depiction of fiery embers at least. Now, with all of that being said, here's the thing we need to discuss in relation to this and the entire franchise. So when it comes to the Jurassic Park movie series, there are times when things don't necessarily add up in relation to continuity and canon. And this is something that I think all of you have known me to address many times over the years in hopes that it may change someday. Well, in relation to the original Visitor Center and Camp Cretaceous, one of the things that threw me for a loop after seeing this image was the fact that the fossilized Tyrannosaur skull that Blue is shown standing on top of here, it shouldn't really exist. And that's because in the fourth film in the series, Jurassic World, we actually see the Indominus Rex stand on and destroy it while she's chasing after Owen and Claire in the movie. This skull belonged to the diorama that the 1993 T-Rex threw the final raptor into at the end of the first film, so seeing it get crushed in Jurassic World was what I assumed to be the very last time we would ever see it in the franchise, and I don't think I'm too crazy for thinking that. Yet, here it is again, showing up in the Netflix thumbnail for Camp Cretaceous. Now, with all of that being said, this could just be a clever bait and switch, because as with many Netflix thumbnails, some even well known for this very show, they've been known to throw people off by having things in them that don't really reflect what's going to happen in the final product, like that interesting other Velociraptor everyone was talking about a few months back. Still, the idea that the Visitor Center could be destroyed before the events of Fallen Kingdom would actually match up to what we know is true in official film canon. We didn't see that building in the fifth movie, so who's to say that it didn't go up in flames earlier in the timeline? We see the kids enter a building that looks eerily similar to it in the Season 3 trailer, and Kenji even states that the old ruins are alleged to be, quote, haunted. There's also the fact that lightning is shown to have struck a tree in an even earlier Season 3 teaser, with the monstrous E750 looking on while fire begins to ignite the island. So to put everything into consideration for all of you guys here, this is pretty much what we know at the moment. Currently, a fire is confirmed to break out on Isla Nublar via a lightning storm in Season 3. E750 seems to be involved at least for some duration of its events, and the Velociraptor, Blue, is shown to be standing atop of a ruined Tyrannosaur skull, while fiery embers encompass what looks to be the Visitor Center in the same image. Some way and somehow, it would not shock me to see E750 and Blue go up against one another while this storm starts on the island. And while the kids are trying to take refuge in the old park, the fire begins to spread to that area as well, leaving a pretty wild and climactic battle in a historically important location for the franchise. Now, whether or not this is how it all goes down, look, I have no idea. It's just a theory, but Camp Cretaceous has been known to tease these things that don't necessarily play out the same way you'd think they were teased after everything is said and done. So this could all be a clever misdirect, just letting you guys know. It should be noted though that continuity errors, such as the Rex skull somehow still being intact, have happened a lot in this franchise over the last 2 decades, and Camp Cretaceous has done some stuff like this quite a bit while it's been creating new episodes. Personally, I think it would be really cool to see the Jurassic Park Visitor Center be the place where E750 wreaks havoc in Season 3, but I also will admit that I really do wish the creators would pay attention to details like that destroyed Rex skull when they're trying to tell new stories. But hey, those are all just my own thoughts and opinions. Now, whatever yours happen to be, I'd love to hear them. in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my parkers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it seriously means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in seeing me again. See you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.